Yay! Hi, Gigi.
Hi, how are you, Gia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Great to see you.
Great to see
Um,
you.
so I can introduce myself. As Dia said, my name is Gigi. I'm from the Philippines. Yeah, and like you said, I'm a senior at TGS.
So, Gigi, can you tell us what you've done for this module? What is your end product?
Right. So I was part of the art focus module, which basically meant that I was focusing on different holistic well-being strategies with the focus of art, and I chose to work with the medium of ceramics. And so I worked with pots and clay and a bunch of other like small projects, but my main focus was clay. Yeah, and so I basically saw how different mindfulness strategies improved my artistic flow. Specifically, I worked on like meditation, different mindfulness activities. I did yoga, and I also spent most of my mornings like tech free. I tried to not use my laptop or my phone. Like I didn't want that to be the first thing that I did in the morning, and so that helped me remain grounded and make sure that like my creative process and everything was in line. Yeah.
That is so cool. Can you let everybody know why you chose to do this particular strategy?
Yeah. So I do consider myself a rather like artistic person, and so I'm always looking for ways to improve my creative process. And usually like whenever I'm doing art, I kind of just let my mind do whatever. Like I don't really think about what I think about when I'm doing art. But what the mindfulness strategies really helped me do is focus in on like making sure that my mind wasn't wandering to different things, and I focused in on making sure I had like positive mindset, shifting my ideas and my thoughts to more productive means. And so it helped me just maintain a really, really like positive and artistic mindset throughout the entire term. Yeah, just overall improving my creative process, I guess. Art flow.
That,
Yep.
that is so cool. That is really cool. Um, One last question from my side, and then we'll take questions that everybody else has. What were your main takeaways from this project?
Okay, so we had one guest speaker, and um, he had a lot of different sayings, and he taught us so many things. But one of the main things that I really loved him speaking about, he said that your heart is 5,000 times more powerful than your brain. And I thought that that was just really cool to think that, mind over body, different things like that. But in reality, like we're human beings, and the way that we function is purely based on like our emotions and our thoughts. And if we really touch into that and start to realize that like that's what we need to tap into for us to become like the most productive and the most like creative person that we can, it just makes everything better, I guess, in a way.
Uh, that is really good. I love your project. I love what you've done. And now we're going to be taking a few questions from our viewers. So we have a question that says, what did you notice about your workflow as you applied those strategies?
Yeah. So I feel like because I was being more mindful about the things that I was thinking about, I was also able to make sure I set goals and there was a purpose to the things that I was doing. And so before, sure, I made art and I finished projects. But at the end of it, I was like, okay, moving on to the next step. But once I was able to really like focus in on what I was doing at the end of my sessions, I'd feel accomplished, and there was more like there's more of a sense of um, like okay, this is complete. I can like move on to the next thing while still like checking off that small win like on my checklist. And it just made like having those small wins throughout the day helps like make everything like it makes me feel more productive in a way, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, now that's nice. We have another question from Vega, who says, how would you define your creativity, yourself as a creative person?
Okay. Thanks, Vega, for that great question. I personally don't really like to, well, as cliche as it may sound, I don't really like to put myself in boxes when it comes to creativity. I take a lot of my inspiration from like Pinterest and like my environment. So right now, like I'm in nature on the beach, and so that's where I kind of get my inspiration from. Yeah, and so that's, I guess, where I would base my creativity off of. Yeah.
That's nice. We have another person who's asking, what difficulties did you encounter during the creation of the project? Are there any things that you did not succeed in?
Yes, there are always things that, always challenges throughout any project that you do. Ceramics, like working with clay, was something that I've never done before, and so there was a little bit of a learning curve figuring out how like the consistency was supposed to be, making sure I was using different techniques. I found that the more research you do, the better, and so I use Skillshare a lot, just to make sure I felt comfortable. There was a lot of trial and error, but at the end of the day, it was really, really fun. And in terms of like meditation and everything, it was a little bit difficult to just like sit down with my thoughts for long periods of time. But with that, I feel like you just need to have perseverance and also have gradual changes. And so instead of going like, first day I'm going to meditate, I'm going to sit down and meditate for like an hour and I'm going to be so good at it. Start off with like 5-10 minutes a day. And then the next week, gradually increase to maybe like 20 or 30. And then you'll get to your goals. Like using the small wins, like I said earlier.
Okay. We still have quite a couple of minutes left. So, do you mind answering a couple more questions?
Not at all.
Okay. We have Johan Carl who says, how do you stay motivated?
Okay, well, the thing is that when I lose motivation, I go back to art. And so, sure, maybe like I didn't really feel motivated to do my TGS project. And so I would work on a different project. I would make, I'm also getting into crochet right now. And so if I didn't necessarily want to work on like making sure I had all the clay things for project, then I made sure I had time for myself, like in my own creative thing without too much pressure of making sure like the final product was good, which was also like not important. The process is more important than the product. So,
Yes. Yep.
yep.
We have quite a lot of people who are asking if you can show them what you've made. Do you have your rings and ceramics near you?
I do. Okay. So I make a lot of like container things. So this is one little swirly thing. I put my rings in there, and then I have this like incense holder, and it's like an eye, and so you put the incense and it burns, and it's very fun. And then I also made this flower pot, and so I put like holes in it. I'm gonna put like a tiny flower in it inside a ceramic flower. I thought that was really clever. Um, and then I also have this bowl inside are all the clay rings that I made. And so in the middle, there's like a little hill with a house on it, and I thought that was really cute. So yeah,
It
those
is.
are a couple of the things that I made.
These are so pretty. They're so pretty.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, we're gonna take just one more question, and then we're gonna pass on the live. We have a question from Seashell Run saying, what was your greatest challenge for the mental well-being part of the module?
Greatest challenge was definitely consistency. In the beginning, my motivation was super high. I was like, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to do yoga, I'm going to become like the most zen person ever. But after like the second or third week, I was like, man, spending like 30 minutes meditating, like 40 minutes doing yoga, that's just like too much for me. And the important thing is to know that it's okay to take breaks, and it's okay to not be super consistent, but you have to make sure you get back on track. Like, don't miss 2 days in a row. That's the rule of the thumb of the rule. But yeah, we worked through it.
Yeah. That is so cool. Well, we're gonna be passing on the live right now. So we have our next host, who is Victoria. She's going to be presenting Neela. Stay tuned. The host is going to be joining shortly. And please don't forget to use the question feature that is right down there to ask any questions you have about the project. Well, see you. Bye, Gigi. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.